What's up, YouTube? This is John from Cars and Cameras, and today I'm going to be showing you how to prepare your car for your first autocross. It is 5:30 in the morning, and it's still dark outside. What am I doing up so early? I am on the way to meet Ike, my good friend and mechanic. He was in the mini bike videos, so check those out if you haven't. So I'm on the way to meet him at a fast food place. We're going to go get some breakfast and then hit the road to go down to Wilmington for an autocross. So what is autocross? It is what people refer to as like cone racing usually. It's time trial, so you get probably anywhere from 4 to 6 runs in what is usually a giant parking lot that has a course marked out with cones and chalk on the ground. And you get timed, and then you just try to be the fastest in your class. And cars are divided into classes depending on how fast they come from the factory and what modifications they have done to them. My NC Miata is in the C Street class. And usually, the higher the letter, the faster the car is from the factory. Well, I just got to Hardee's, and I'm now waiting for Ike. So some things you need to remember before you leave are blue painter's tape, and I'll explain that once we get there. Other things you need some water in case you get dehydrated or something like that. They don't really sell water there, not that I've seen. A jacket in case it rains or it's gonna be cold. Sunglasses. In some cases, sunscreen. A hat probably wouldn't hurt. And I mean, bring your lead foot, man. If you don't live your life a quarter mile at a time, you don't need to be doing autocross. We're just gonna grab some breakfast, grab some gas, and get on the road. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes to Wilmington. We're gonna try to get there around 7:45. I think registration opens at 7:15 or 7:30, and it ends at 8:15. Oh, and just wait till you see Ike's car. It's a real race car. I think this is my 6th autocross, but this is my 2nd one with this car. And last time, my good buddy with the Turbo BRZ, I actually did a review on his car. Check that out also. I was actually within 0.7 seconds of his time, so I'm chasing Dylan at this point. So I'm gonna give it my best shot and hope I end up on top. So Ike just got here, and I told you he had a real race car. So there she blows. Civic hatch. But it's faster than it looks. It's got an LS9 swap, right?
LS3.
LS3, okay. Ike is now behind me, and we are on the road to Wilmington, North Carolina. It is 6:10 in the morning. There is some light in the sky. We are on the road. Hoping to get there by 7:45 because registration ends at 8:15, and I don't like cutting it close. And once you get there, they make you sign a waiver before you enter the premises, basically saying, like, I'm not going to sue the SCCA if I get hurt, things of that nature. And once you sign up there, they're going to give you a wristband, giving you access to come in and out without having to sign again. Yeah, you're going to find a parking space, and you're going to back into a parking space. You're going to go find the registration desk, register. They'll pull up your information from when you registered online, pre-registered online anyway. And they'll confirm your class and number. You have to choose a number when you sign up. So, for example, mine is 65 because that's mine and my girlfriend's anniversary. So mine is 65C Street. And if I was a novice, I'd add an N to the end of it. So it would be 65CSN. But I'm not a novice. I've done this a few times, so I'm basically an expert, right? Kidding. So I'm just 65CS. So once you find the registration desk and confirm your number and class and all that stuff, you put your tape on the car, and I'll explain that when we get there. You have to put your number and letters on the side of the car, so if you knock a cone, if you hit a cone, people will be able to, the people working the course will be able to tell who it was that knocked a cone, so they can add 2 seconds to the time. You probably could have guessed this, but in autocross, hitting cones is bad. Every one of them adds 2 seconds to your time, or at least in all the ones I've done, hitting a cone adds 2 seconds to your time. So basically, if you hit a cone, your run is toast. If you're trying to win or something. So after you register, by confirming your number and class, you take all the floor mats out of your car, and all the clutter out of your car that can move around while you're driving hard. So that means you don't have to take out like your spare tire, but it is free weight, I guess. I don't have that problem in this car. It doesn't have a spare tire. But I'm going to take out the floor mats and all my recording stuff and find a safe place for that while I'm out there driving. So after you do that, you take the car to tech inspection. And tech inspection is not a big deal. The first time I did it, I thought they were going to check all your fluids and fail me because I didn't have my brakes bled recently. No, they don't check any of that. They just make sure that your wheels are bolted on and make sure that your battery is tied down. Those are the 2 basic things that they really look for that I've experienced. For example, Ike has a huge crack right through the middle of his windshield, and last time they didn't see that as an issue at all. So after you go to tech inspection, most people do a walkthrough of the course just to get a feel for it before they're out there going hard for the first time. And Ike and I are definitely going to do that when we get there. They usually hold one for the novices, but that is not limited to just novices. I usually go on them anyway. After you do a walkthrough around 8:30 or so, maybe even a little after, they hold the driver's meeting, which you are required to attend to. It's going to be notes, the run groups, because they do split it up. So, for example, Ike and I might be in different run groups, so he might be on break while I'm driving, or vice versa. And then also, everyone who's driving has to work at some point. They just have to stand out on the side of the course and pick up cones that people have knocked over and report them to the head trailer. They usually do 3 run groups. They have one group running, one group on break, and then the other group working. Then after the driver's meeting, everybody gets in places and the first car is off. And they do make you wear a helmet in autocross, but you can borrow them. They have some you can borrow. I mean, it's a little gross. Some people are pretty sweaty in the summer, but you know, it's better than spending $200 on a helmet. Wow, they still have Christmas lights up. It's the end of February. You might be a redneck if your kids trip over Christmas lights looking for Easter eggs. It's the sad truth. So if you are first to run, or whenever you run, you get in grid, which is like the intermediate area between the pits and like being directly in line to run. And then workers will direct you on where to go and when. So the whole process of autocrossing is a lot to remember. You have pre-registration online. You have to get there on time. You have registration when you get there. You have to empty your car of anything that can fly around. You have tech inspection. You have to tape your car, tape the numbers and class on your car. You have to walk through, well, you don't have to, but I heavily advise it. You have the driver's meeting, and then you have first car off. That's a lot to remember, but most people, their first time, it's a deer in headlights, and most people are very understanding of that. I mean, this is my 5th or 6th time doing it, and I'm still like a deer in headlights sometimes with it. So it is not a big deal. Don't let that stop you from autocrossing. A few things to remember before you actually leave your house or garage, wherever you're leaving from. Make sure you have plenty of tread on your tires, and make sure that all your fluids are topped off. They're not going to check your fluids, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't check them, because you definitely should. You don't want your engine grenading because you don't have any oil in it. So we're about 6 miles out from the venue, and the reason we left so early, we thought we would have a lot of extra time, but we're actually just going to make it, if that. Registration closes at 8:15, and it is 8:04 right now, so we are pushing it. So that's why you leave early for one of these things. So we got here just in the nick of time. Went and registered. Went through tech, wasn't a big deal. And put the stickers or the tape on my car. Here comes that boy, Dirty D.
Of course, the
water hazard. Yep, right over there. You got a water hazard.
They got the bird's nest in the pond.
What the hell is there a bird's nest in the pond for? So, yeah, I figured it's time for a formal introduction. This is Dirty D, aka Dylan.
The Ricer.
His yep. He's so in the Fast and Furious crew, you got like Letty, Leo, Vince.
Where y'all going? Pay attention.
Jesse,
pay attention.
Dom, Brian. You're probably a mix between you're probably Hector actually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or you're Hector or Leo.
Yeah. Leo.
Like if Leo had a bigger part, you'd definitely be Leo.
Yeah.
So he got the Turbo BRZ, and I'm gonna try to catch him today. Looks like this is a pretty small parking lot for what it is.
Hector,
what?
I'd rather be Hector.
Yeah, okay, you're Hector then.
Yeah.
I'll be Dom.
Oh man, you're Dom.
That all makes sense.
Actually, no, I'll be Brian. How's that?
You be
I'll
Brian? All right.
Yeah, the sexy guy.
I got this. My dad gets out of jail. We're gonna ride together. It's all good. I'm doing what you do, Brian. I ended up driving the first round, having a break in the second, during which I rode with Dylan and Ike.
Flat on you. Don't you brake, boy. Get on them brakes.
And then I worked third. The venue was okay. The area was pretty small, making the course short, but thankfully we got 6 runs apiece. I hope this video helped generate some enthusiasm for autocross, and check out the full runs I've uploaded separately. And while none of us left with any podium finishes, I ended up beating a C6 Corvette by 0.1 seconds and Dylan in his Turbo BRZ by over a second. On our level of competition, autocross is about having fun and gaining valuable experience that could be usable in hazardous road conditions. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep it rubber side down and between the ditches.